Have you ever stopped to notice the little things you still do each day? Things that seem so ordinary you might not even think twice about them. Maybe it's making your own breakfast. Maybe it's writing a quick list by hand. Or maybe it's just taking a few minutes to water your plants in the morning. But here's something most people don't tell you. Those little things matter more than you know, because aging isn't just about what we lose. It's about what we keep. It's about the quiet strength in the habits we still hold, the routines we still manage, the people we still care for. And sometimes just the simple fact that you're still doing these things is proof that you're aging beautifully. With grace, with purpose, and with a quiet resilience that's easy to overlook but impossible to replace. In today's video, I want to share 5 simple, everyday things that, if you're still doing them after 65, you should feel proud. They're not about youth. They're not flashy, they're quietly powerful, and they just might remind you that your life still carries more meaning than you sometimes give yourself credit for. So if even one of these habits sounds like you, leave a comment below that says, "Still me," because what you're still doing matters. Now let's begin. Let's start with something so simple, yet deeply powerful. You still cook for yourself. It might not feel like much, just boiling some eggs, cutting up vegetables, or making that same bowl of oatmeal you've had for years. But every time you walk into your kitchen and prepare a meal with your own hands, you're doing something many people stop doing as they get older. You're taking care of yourself. Cooking isn't just about food, it's about independence. It's about deciding what goes into your body, how much, and when. It's about staying connected to the rhythm of your day, to flavors you love, and to memories tied to every recipe. I knew a woman named Carol, 74 years old. Her hands weren't as fast as they used to be, and some days she'd get tired halfway through chopping vegetables. But every morning, without fail, she'd put on her little floral apron and say, "If I can still cook, I can still take care of me." That was her pride. And she was right, because cooking is a quiet declaration, a way of saying, "I'm still capable. I'm still in control." So if you're still preparing your meals, whether it's a big pot of soup or just your favorite sandwich, be proud. That simple act holds more strength than most people realize. If this sounds like you, leave a comment that says, "I still cook." I'd love to hear what you made for breakfast today. And if you're finding value in these reminders, don't forget to subscribe, because we're just getting started. The next habit is about keeping your mind alive with nothing more than a pen and a page. Now let's move from the kitchen to the mind, because if you're someone who still reads, writes, or keeps your brain active in any way, you're doing something incredibly valuable for your well-being. Maybe you read the newspaper with your morning coffee, maybe you write in a little journal before bed, or maybe you enjoy doing puzzles, crosswords, or simply making a to-do list with a pen instead of a phone. These small acts are quiet, almost invisible to others, but they're how you keep your mind sharp and your sense of self intact. I remember a man named Harold who was 77. Every night before bed, he would write down one sentence about his day, just one. It could be simple, like, "I saw a robin in the yard," or "the soup was too salty." But over time, those little lines became his way of remembering not just the facts, but the feeling of his life. Reading and writing aren't just pastimes. They're how we stay connected to our thoughts, our memories, and our voice. And as we age, that voice matters more than ever. It's how we remind ourselves that we are still thinking, still learning, still here. So if you still pick up a book, jot down a recipe, or even scribble a note on a Post-it, be proud. Your mind is alive and you are feeding it. And if this sounds like you, leave a comment that says, "Still thinking," because that's something worth celebrating. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe. These stories are for you. And next, we'll talk about something even more precious: the people you've kept close. Now let's talk about something the world often overlooks, but the heart never forgets: the friends who've walked with us through the years. If you're someone who still keeps in touch with even just one old friend, you're nurturing something rare and beautiful. Maybe you don't talk every day, maybe it's just a phone call once a week or a handwritten card now and then, but the bond is still there, and that connection is one of the most powerful gifts you can give yourself as you age. I once knew a man named Paul, 80 years old, who called his childhood friend every Sunday at 3 p.m. It didn't matter what they talked about, sports, weather, old jokes. What mattered was that the line stayed open. We're like a bridge to each other's past, he said once, smiling, and I never forgot that. Because as we grow older, our world can shrink. People move, loved ones pass, but those who remain, even if just a few, are like anchors. They remind us of who we've been, and they help us stay grounded in who we still are. Staying connected doesn't take much. A call, a message, a short visit, even a smile across the street. If you still do this, if you still reach out to someone or reply when they reach out to you, then you're carrying the kind of wisdom that keeps the heart alive. Relationships don't need to be loud to be meaningful. They just need to be real. So if you still keep in touch with someone from your younger years, leave a comment that says, "Still connected." And if this part of the video reminded you of someone, maybe it's time to give them a call today. Up next, we'll talk about something that may seem small, but shows incredible strength: managing your own routine and health. And now, let's take a moment to honor something that often goes unnoticed: the quiet power of managing your own routine and health. If you're someone who still keeps track of your appointments, remembers your medications, stays mindful of how your body feels, then you're doing something truly extraordinary. Because it's easy, as we age, to hand over our care to someone else. And sometimes we need to, and that's okay. But when you can still say, "I've got this," when you're the one who makes the tea when your stomach feels off, who knows which shoes support your knees better, who says time for my walk without being told, that's real strength. I once met a woman named Louise who had a little notepad on her fridge. Each morning, she'd check off her vitamins, her stretches, and a reminder to drink enough water. She called it her daily promise to herself. And I thought that was beautiful, because health isn't just about what doctors say. It's about how we show up for ourselves day after day in small and loving ways. And the more we stay involved in our own care, the more dignity we carry with us. So if you're still the one checking your schedule, keeping your prescriptions in order, or listening closely when your body says rest or move, be proud. You're honoring your independence with every thoughtful choice. If this feels like you, drop a comment that says, "Still in charge," because you are. And if you're still here with me, don't forget to subscribe. We've got one more habit to go, and this one is all about meaning, about purpose, about why you still get up each morning with something to offer. And finally, perhaps the most powerful sign of all, you still find purpose in your days. It might not be grand or loud. Maybe it's tending to your garden, folding laundry with care, or simply feeding the cat each morning. But if you still wake up and do something that gives your day meaning, then you are truly aging with beauty and strength. Purpose doesn't always come with applause. Sometimes it looks like making a cup of tea for your spouse without being asked, or listening patiently when your grandchild talks about their day, or taking a moment to pray, reflect, or simply look out the window and say, "Today still matters." I once spoke with a man named Edgar, 82, who said his greatest joy was refilling the bird feeder. "It gives them food and it gives me a reason to open the door," he told me. That's purpose. Purpose is anything that reminds you that you're still part of something, that your presence still matters in this world. And if you've found even a small reason to keep showing up each day for yourself, for someone else, or even for something as simple as watering a plant, then you are holding on to something sacred. So tell me, what gives your day meaning? I'd love for you to share it in the comments below, even if it's just one word. And if you're still discovering your purpose, that's okay too. Just keep looking for it. Keep listening. It's there. And if this video has reminded you of your quiet strength, please consider subscribing. We're building a space where growing older is something we celebrate, not something we hide. And now, let's wrap this up with a few final words from the heart. So if you've listened to this far, take a moment to really feel what that means. You're still here, still showing up for your life, still choosing to live with intention, and that's something worth celebrating. These 5 habits may seem small on the outside: cooking your meals, reading a page, calling a friend, remembering your meds, watering a plant, but they're not small at all. They are signs of quiet power, of grace, of a spirit that hasn't given up and never will. Because aging beautifully isn't about looking younger or keeping up with the crowd. It's about staying true to what gives your days meaning. It's about choosing life in all its simplicity, again and again. So I want to ask you this. Which of these habits still lives in you? Which one made you pause, smile, or think of someone you love? Leave me a comment and let me know, even just a few words. Your voice matters here. And if this video gave you something to hold on to, even for a moment, please consider subscribing. We're building more than a channel, we're building a home. A place where wisdom is honored, where every year added is a story earned, and where you are always welcome. Until next time, take care of your body, your mind, and your spirit. And remember, it's not about how fast you move, it's about the quiet strength of still moving forward. So if something in this video touched you, if you felt seen or gently reminded of your own strength, leave a comment below. Just a word, just a feeling. Let this be a space where your voice is heard, no matter your age. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I'd love for you to join us. Each week, we share simple, thoughtful videos like this to help you feel stronger, more connected, and more alive in the life you're living right now. Your support not only helps this channel grow, it helps others find us too. So click that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a moment of encouragement. Thank you for spending your time here. You are wise, you are still growing, and you are never alone.